Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Boku no Hero Academia Season 3, Episode 14, mid-season premiere? Yeah. So we finally got through with this 2-week wait that was pretty killer. And during that 2-week wait, I'll not talk about it too much, I'll just skim over. I said that I was going to do a top characters video last Saturday in the week that we weren't having an episode, and I worked on it all last weekend. And it's basically pretty much done, but now I don't know when to post it. So we've got another Q&A coming up this Thursday, so I'm thinking this Thursday's that, and then the next Thursday after that, I'll do a top character video for Boku no Hero Academia, and I will be taking, well, I mean, obviously with my list of favorite characters, because I read the manga kind of influences which ones I like more, as well. And in addition to that, there are some characters that aren't in the anime yet, but don't worry, I will make sure that I keep it spoiler-free, and even those characters that are included, and it's just a few, I will not be talking about anything really, really important to plot or anything like that, just so I make sure that I don't spoil anybody, and that it's safe for anime-only watchers to watch as well. So, yeah, got that out of the way. Let's talk about this actual episode. Coming back from the break, since, like I said, I am a manga reader, I knew what to expect, and I was like, okay, it's a training arc. Training arc, I wasn't expecting too much. Of course, Boku no Hero Academia is basically always good. But I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. It exceeded, it plus altered my expectations. And then, to talk first about the opening, since that's basically what came first, there were a lot of things I liked about it and a few things I didn't like so much. I don't think it's my favorite one. I've been saying that each opening builds upon the one before, and my least favorite was the first one, and the most recent one was my most favorite, and they kind of went in chronological order there, from least to most favorite for me. They were all good, but I think each one built up, and then this one, I still think Odd Future's my favorite, and I don't know where I'd put this one. This one may be between... I like it more than Season 1's opening, I think, but I don't think I like it as much as Season 2 opening 1. So I guess I'd put it between those two, or around Season 2 opening 1 level. But it's really good. One thing I liked about it is that it felt like a completely new pace, a completely new fresh start for the show. Everything was very vibrant and different, and I think that was really good to show that now the beginning of the end of the beginning, whatever, that All Might is gone now as the top hero, and we're going to be focusing on how Deku gets there even more. We're going to be focusing on the students even more. And this opening in general just focused on the students a lot more, where last time we had to focus on a lot of the pro heroes because of how involved they were with the arc. So, other things I liked, the new characters and how much screen time they got, I absolutely loved. The sort of, I don't know, juxtaposition, that isn't really the right word, but the stuff with Izuku and Bakugo with All Might in the middle, I thought that all of that was really, really good. The transition scene, one of my favorite parts, the transition scene from Endeavor to Shoto, is really, really good. There's a lot of foreshadowing that I can't go too much into with so many things, and so many really, 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 really subtle things in this opening, that I can't get into because I don't want to spoil anything coming in the future, but there are so many like small things that I didn't even notice the first few times, that seem normal, but then when you think about what comes next, knowing things that are coming in the future, so much of it is such subtle foreshadowing. It seems like just this normal happy opening, but there's so much crammed into it that even I didn't get on my first few times watching it. Also, another thing I liked is that for the villains, they specifically showed, of course, Shigaraki, because he's the main villain, the recurring villain for the series, really, but also Toga-wise. We got Toga in twice, so I was happy that those two were the two shown. I loved it. And then, for some things that I didn't really like about it, again, without going into spoilers, there was this one character that I had to... I went and looked up discussions of this episode, because I was like, who is that supposed to be? And a bunch of other people were saying the same thing, so I can only assume that means it's a filler character, and I'm wondering why the hell is a filler character in the opening? Because there's no way they're going to be important enough to warrant being in the opening, you know what I mean? So that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. that they put a filler character in the opening, especially with such a prime spot in the opening. It just seems odd. It's like if they would have put Innsmouth in season 2 opening 2. So I really don't get it, especially because with the arc that we're getting here, they shouldn't need filler. And I would say maybe one episode at the most. They would need one filler episode if they go 2 chapters an episode from here on out. And even then, if they just did 1.5 chapters for 2 of these episodes and then maybe took some of the fights and stretched them out a little bit, they wouldn't need any filler at all. So I don't know. I just don't know why a filler character that can't be here more than 1 episode unless they're really compressing some stuff. No pun intended with Mr. Compress. But yeah, I don't know why on earth a filler character made it into the opening. And then also this scene with Gang Orca and then Todoroki and then Bakugo. Bakugo is there kind of replacing a character that I feel like should be there. Because I would have been so hyped if the character that should be there was there. It'd be so much kind of not really even foreshadowing, just showing the future and stuff and hyping up for what this arc is going to have. And the role that Bakugo played in the opening right there made total sense for what that character is doing in this arc and in regards to Todoroki and all that. And yet they put Bakugo there for some reason, and I have no idea why Bakugo replaced that character there, and I think that's a big down point for the opening. That's probably my least favorite thing about this opening that I really wish they hadn't have done. And also, I guess they could have done better time management. There were a lot of scenes of just Izuku flying forward and stuff like that I think they could have taken some time to show some other characters doing cool stuff too. But that's not really as big an issue as the first 2. So yeah. Starting with the actual episode, now that I've broken down the opening a bit, we have the dream of All Might, which is kind of a really cool way to do the recap because it made sense and it didn't drag on very long. I love the slice of life stuff that we just got really quick at the beginning, and I think that's one of the great things about them being in the dorms now, is that every once in a while we can have like less than 2 minutes to just take and show them hanging out around the dorms, and it builds up character relationships and kind of endears us more to the characters without having to actually take too much time to show anything really happening. So that's all really good. Then we get Aizawa talking about how the provisional license exams are coming up. There's only a 50% pass rate, so it's incredibly, incredibly difficult. And he brings up, he and the other teachers bring up, because Midnight, Cementoss, and Ectoplasm come in, that ultimate moves are unique. They give a person an advantage in the situation, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an attack. Like he does Reciproburst counts because it gives him an advantage. It's a special thing that only he can do, and that is ingrained in his style of combat, really. Because they bring up that they're testing you on your ability to save people and to protect them from villains, and a big part of that is often combat, or at least one of the more difficult parts of that is combat. So combat's going to be a big portion of what their abilities are tested on. Then I love they get to the training ground Gamma, or the gym Gamma, and it is TDL, or what was it, Training Dining Land. And I love that the joke behind it is that way back at USJ, all the kids go in there and they're like, oh my god, it's just like USJ, talking about Universal Studios Japan. And then 13 is like, ah yes, this is the unforeseen simulation joint or something like that. And they're like, oh, it is USJ. And the joke between this one and them saying, I think a certain mouse is going to get mad at us for that, or could get mad at us for that, was the joke is that TDL is Tokyo Disneyland. So again, I thought that's a really creative running joke with all of UA's places being USJ or TDL. So all of that was really funny. And it's actually the group of teachers they have and the Gamma gym are really cool because Cementoss can create different terrains for all the students to train on, Ectoplasm can use his clones to give each student one-on-one training. And then, of course, they had, like, All Might when he showed up, and they had Aizawa at Midnight. They could just sort of wander around and give help where help was needed, or advice where they saw fit. So all of that was really cool, and I actually I really like Ectoplasm. He's kind of growing on me. So we have 10 days until the exam, Aizawa says, and he brings up that they should also start adapting their costumes, because they got the costumes way back at the beginning of school. They need to start adapting them to fit their new strengthened quirks that they were strengthening back at the summer camp, and also their new super moves that they're going to have. So we get to see a lot of the students' super moves. We get to see a bit of new things from a lot of them. We see kind of fully formed or finished super moves, like Mina's got the ability to shoot acid now. Tokiyami has the Cloak of Dark Shadow to cover for his weakness in close combat. Bakugo has the armor-piercing shot now. And Uraraka says that she is learning to make herself float so she can increase her maneuverability in combat. We get to see Kirishima and Kaminari's. We get to see them getting new costumes. I think at the end we actually did get to see their new costumes, but I'm not sure. Or maybe that was just in the preview for next episode, and I'm getting that a little bit confused. Or maybe it was both. We also get to see Kyoka's new weapons and Minetta's as well. I saw a ton of people joking around, oh my god, Minetta has anal bead weapon now. That was really funny. And hints for more students about what their training might entail, like Tsuyu in particular, and I guess maybe arguably like Hagakure or something too. And I guess maybe you could argue Aoyama. We saw a lot of Rikido training, but he was just eating stuff, so I'm not sure what his training actually is doing. We didn't see Shoto, I don't believe, and we only saw Yaoyorozu once just making 2 pulls at the same time. So, no clue what their super moves will actually be. Like, making 2 things at once instead of just making 1 thing at a time is convenient, but I wouldn't exactly call it a super move on its own. So, all that was really good. All Might shows up and starts giving suggestions and advice to all the students. And one thing I loved about it, particularly for Izuku and for Kirishima, I'm really happy for advice he gave Kirishima. Just Kirishima's my favorite character, and I know things that are coming. I freaking love him so much. But yeah, his advice to Izuku was basically the same thing Gran Torino said. You're trying to be too much like me. And that's all he leaves it at, because it's something that Izuku needs to figure out on his own. And I love Aizawa sees the book in his back pocket that's basically teaching for dummies. So I like this role for All Might, where he's gone to this place where he can feel comfortable just switching back and forth between the little and big forms for comedic effect, and just being really casual around the other teachers, and then just casually teaching the other students. He doesn't have to sort of teach them on a time limit anymore. So I kind of really liked what we saw just from the little bit with All Might here. We see Izuku, Ida, and Uraraka go to the development studios, what they called it, where Power Loader and Mei were there. Mei is great. I loved her character so much here. And I love her relationship with Izuku as well. Just the 2 of them I always find funny together. Then Power Loader says that he's licensed to make hero suits and stuff, and that he has to report any changes he makes to the company that made the suits, but he can make small changes himself there. But if it's a large change, they have to send it to the suit manufacturer to do, and all of it's got to be approved by the government. So again, just showing more of what their rules and laws are like in this world, and I like all of that. It's just extra sort of world-building kind of development. Then we get the Iron Man reference that I didn't get at first, but somebody else pointed it out to me, with the powered suit that Mei had Izuku try on. Izuku has his brain blast figuring out, oh right, I have legs. Then Hatsume's development was cool too, where Power Loader was talking about how she's unafraid of failure. She's here all the time, and she makes a bunch of things that just blow up or don't work or don't serve any purpose whatsoever. but she makes things, and she's always improving. It's because she's unafraid of failure that she can come up with really good things when she gets it right. So Hatsume is a really cool character that I've come to appreciate more. Izuku then has his suit version Gamma now with the arm braces and the iron soles, so I think that's cool, and he shows off shoot style. Then we get the new ending. I absolutely love the new ending. It's maybe, I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite one. That's probably too early to say. I think my favorite one's probably still Season 2 ending 2, and then probably Season 1's ending is my second favorite, and this one will settle around third. And then the one we just had, and then Season 2, what is it? What am I thinking of here? Season 2, or ending 2 is probably my least favorite, but even that's still good. And it's mostly, none of the endings have particularly amazing animation or anything that I'm super fond of. It's mostly just the songs, I guess. And yeah, preview for next week shows we get some new characters. I'm excited for that. I'd give this 8 mid-season premieres out of 10. I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was really good, way past my expectations, like I said, and I struggled with this review. I don't know what it is. While I was talking about all this, I just feel like I froze a lot more than usual. Not really froze, but like more like the whole ums and such. I don't know. I don't know what it was about this one. Maybe it's because usually I watch the episode and then I'll watch a bunch of people's videos on it if they have their videos out right after I watch the episode. Then I'll watch it a second time and take my notes on it while I'm watching it for the review. Just take bullet points of what all happened or what all that I think I should discuss. But this time around, for some reason I watched the episode and there were like basically nobody else had their videos up before I went to come record this. So it's really weird. A lot of people way further behind than usual. So yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe I just didn't have the episode as ingrained or memorized in my head as usual, where I've watched it only like 2 or 3 times, maybe 4, rather than the usual counting watching people's videos on it as watching it. I would normally see it like 10 times or something. So yeah, I guess that's why this one was a little bit more awkward. I don't know. I noticed it. Maybe it's because I noticed it. I noticed myself saying a bit more than usual like halfway through, and I think maybe that itself could have been what threw me off so much. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and get to posting this. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe if you want for more Boku no Hero Academia, both anime and manga, but I try to stay as spoiler-free as possible with the manga thumbnails and titles and such. And then I guess also for this character video, like I said, it won't be next Thursday, but the Thursday after that, I'll try to do it. And anything else, follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, or if you want a link to the Discord server to talk with me or more of us there, then just ask and I'll give you one. Another thing I just thought of, I haven't eaten. That might be why too. That might be why I'm all scatterbrained. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't record anything else after this. So yeah, that's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.